If you own a business and you're going after clients one at a time, then you are taking the slowest possible route to grow your business.
That is true. In this first episode of the Powerful Professionals Network Live, we are breaking down the 3 fastest ways to generate clients. So let's go.
So excited for our next guest. They speak around the country to sold-out crowds.
They build multiple 7-figure businesses.
Empower business owners to scale to 6 and 7 figures.
Thank you to you because you've turned me into a social media whore.
Kim Walsh Phillips created one of the fastest growing companies in America and has generated over $1 billion for her clients.
Guarini is a television icon who has starred in commercials, 7 Broadway shows, and now is bringing over 20 years of entertainment experience to entrepreneurs all over the world.
Together, they've created a winning formula that has business owners buzzing about their impact and their income.
A 6-figure launch. Super duper exciting.
My first webinar, we did 5 figures.
We still landed 2 companies that resulted in contracts for $90,000.
It has really changed the way I invest, the way we do deals with companies, the way we change our strategies for customer acquisition. I'm out there, and you know that, and you're part of that success.
I can't say enough good things about this ROI-focused dynamic duo.
Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet. Welcome Dr. Guarini and Kim Walsh Phillips!
If you're still chasing clients one by one, you are choosing the slow lane, whether you realize or not. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down the 3 fastest ways to generate clients so you can start creating momentum tomorrow, not 90 days from now.
I want to do it right now.
How about immediately?
Right now.
Is that good? That
Yeah.
sounds good to me. And if you're joining us live on Zoom, this is your chance. Go ahead and drop your questions in real time. If you hear something, if you have an aha, if you have a takeaway, if you have a question, boom, drop it right there in the chat and we will get to it, because there is a point where we're going to be answering your questions live and empowering you to apply this directly to your business. So the 3 fastest ways to grow a business are right here. Stages.
Yeah, stages. We already did the work. They already did the work to gather the audience for you. We're going to talk about that. Strategic partnerships. They are an access to exactly who you're trying to reach, and sales only decisions. What does that mean? We're going to get into that today as well.
That sounds awesome. Okay, so why don't we start with the top, which is stages?
Yeah. So, I mean, the reality of Justin and I is that we are 85% of our bodies are made up of the need for applause.
It's very true. Yeah.
So we actually like, we like being on stage. We like applause. And early in my career, I've always enjoyed speaking. You've always enjoyed performing. And I would speak on stages. It was like how I took my love for theater to my business. But it was built very much like, I would hope when I was done with my talk that there'd be someone in the back of the room saying, "Ooh, I really like that. How can I work with you?"
Hope.
And it was great when it worked, but not great when it
didn't.
didn't.
But as we've said often here inside the Powerful Professionals Network, hope is not a strategy.
Yeah.
Hope is just hope.
Yeah.
And it's great. And look, hope, there's a place for hope. I love hope. Keep hope alive, right? Right? But at the same time, strategy is way more important. And so, we love speaking.
Yeah.
And you and I have walked into rooms and an interesting thing will happen, right? Yeah, like
It just happened Saturday.
it did. As a matter of fact, yes. So we were at this event speaking in Saturday. We were on Long Island, or if you're from the Northeast,
Long Island.
Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those are my peeps.
Yeah, exactly. It was at the mansion at Glen Cove, a beautiful estate. And we both stayed there and spoke there. And so we walk into the room, and what happened is what normally happens. People will immediately beeline for me because they recognize me as the guy from American Idol.
Yeah.
And they'll ask for pictures, and they'll be like, "Hey, excuse me, can you take a picture?"
Yeah.
And it's the wildest thing for me to witness, because I know Kim, and I know her authority.
Yep.
And I know what she's done. And yet at the same time, I'm also like, well, I'm so much more than the American
And it
Idol
always
guy.
gets me excited because I always know I'm going to be able to use it as yet another example of why speaking is so powerful. So that's what happened. They're lined up. They're asking to take pictures of him on click, 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 click before we go and present.
Yep.
And then we take the stage. We
Right.
had a 30-minute talk. And as soon as we were done, there was literally a line around the room for people to meet with us, to have a conversation, and to get their photo taken with both of us.
Yeah.
Because when you speak on stage, you are the instant authority. And the beautiful thing about that is You didn't have to spend time filling the room.
No.
You don't have the expense of the venue. And as soon as you take the stage, you're the instant authority.
Yeah.
So instead of going after clients, chasing after them one-on-one, you can get many of them at one time. It was a small room. We had about 35 people who would be potential clients for us in the room, and 28 of them opted in to our list to find out more about working with us.
Yeah, and the people in the room were legitimate business owners
Yeah.
who had
Amazing
audiences,
women.
like amazing women who have
And
audiences.
few men, what they say, and the men that support them.
Exactly. This is
Yeah, their
fantastic.
business partners is great.
Everything is fantastic. I mean, and from every niche you can imagine,
Yeah.
from boudoir photography, if you know what that is, and then all the way to aesthetics.
Yeah, therapists.
Right.
We had financial advisors, insurance brokers. I mean, it's definitely our niche of people who want to get more clients. So it was a great audience. And think about how long it would have taken to get 27 people to know us, like us, trust us, want to find more out about working with us.
Right.
It's really, really fast. And it's so much faster than using just social media alone, because someone just clicking on your picture, you don't have any trust, you don't have a relationship.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, you cannot get on stage without a follow-up system. You need to have that in place, because if you don't, you're going to be scrambling to turn those relationships into clients.
Wait a minute, Kim. What you're saying is that I can't just go up on stage, do an amazing job, have people have conversations with me, maybe exchange some numbers, get a few LinkedIn subs, and they won't just like immediately find me and find my
You
product.
can do that if you want to be exhausted and burnt out, because trying to follow up with each individual lead one-on-one and guessing what should I do next, how soon should I follow up, what should I send them, how do I get them from interest to client, that's exhausting.
Yeah.
You need a system in place.
Yeah,
So that's the
absolutely.
thing we have, which is how we've already turned some of them clients ever since Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. So that covers the first point, which is stages. Now, what we're going to do next, is the next one, which is strategic partnerships. Who,
Or like SNL would say, strategery.
strategic? Oh, don't even get me. Okay, what is strategic partnerships? Well, the basic way of thinking that is like, who already has your audience? So, for example, what we did was with the event that we just spoke at, we created a strategic partnership with someone we knew already had the people in their audience. We didn't gather the people in the room. No. We went and we delivered our valuable information in front of the right audience.
Yeah, and here's the thing, that oftentimes people try to approach strategy and strategic partnerships the wrong way. They're asking for something before they get something in return. So this just happened.
Yeah.
We always go value first, and I'll give an example of that in just a second. But I had a client reach out to me via Facebook Messenger, the place where all the deals happen. And I got this message saying, hey, I started this new thing. I think your people could benefit from it. Tell me who in your community would want to try it or want to actually become a client. There was no try it, want to become a client. I'd pay some affiliate fees for this. And I was like, there is like no incentive for me to give connection to my clients for something I've never tried before. A smarter way would have been for him to approach me. Hey, I developed this thing. I think you're going to love it. Let me do this. Would you be willing to let me do this for you as a gift to you to try it? And if you have success with it, you can then share it with your network. That's a very different approach.
Yes.
Because now it's giving me value before asking for anything in return. The best way to approach strategic partners is to give them value first and then ask for a partnership.
Yeah.
But it's also to take situations you're currently doing and to turn them into strategic partnerships. So there might be an event you're going to speak at. Well, is there an event organizer you could be offering value to? That there's something you could do for them that would create value in a stronger partnership? Do you have a client who has an audience that would make sense for you to partner with? We just had that very thing happen for us. How about it?
Yeah, an audience that to partner with. And I want to say one thing before that. This applies for anyone at any level.
Any level.
Right? You can be someone who the person does not know.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And if you lead with value first and you keep giving value, it will more often than not turn into a strategic partnership if you then make the ask after giving the value. But it also happens at major people. Tony Robbins, for example, there is someone that we know that wanted to work with Tony.
Mhm.
And he's already huge, has a massive company. He, for years, gave and gave and gave and gave to Tony. And this is a big guy who has a big name. Gave and gave and gave to Tony before he ever asked for anything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where.
Yeah, and it happened for us with one of our clients, David Meltzer. Meltzer.
Yeah,
Right.
Meltzer. Outside, it happens all the time. Yeah, we always want to give, and with him, it's like we speak on his panel.
Yeah.
At his dinners, we speak on the Aspire panel.
And you met him first by being on his podcast.
Absolutely.
Then we reconnected with him on the Aspire stage. And then we paid to speak at one of his events first.
Right.
Okay. So we're giving before we're getting anything back or asking for anything in return. And then I offered to give them value by working on David's LinkedIn. They're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And now we get a client every few days from their audience.
Yeah.
We speak at all of their events and they became a major partner. And this has literally turned into multiple 6 figures of revenue.
Yeah.
We've invested a little bit of time and a little bit of money up front, but we've gotten us partnerships with the Aspire Tour this way. Not just David, it's my partnership with Dan Kennedy, Evan O'Leary from Shark Tank. Like when you approach people, not just as clients, but as partners, everything changes.
Yeah, same thing with PBS, right? We partnered with them as well. And we produced our first television show together. And so we gave to their community, approached them about partnerships, and now look, they've become clients, and we've generated, again, multiple clients from their community. I see those of you who are dropping questions in the chat. We see you. We're going to get to you. Thank you very much for playing full out. All right, so we covered stages and strategic partnerships. Now we move to the, I don't know, it might be our favorite part, which is show me the money, honey.
Show
me the money, honey part. This is our sales only decisions. Now, this is really interesting because at the start, like sales only decisions, what are they going to sell everybody? But what is the idea behind thinking, okay, this is only a sales only decision. This is a good thing. This is not a selfish or like a sort of how pop culture has treated salespeople. Like,
well, we believe in determining a goal number. You know, y'all heard me say this before. And God, I trust. Everyone else bring data.
Right.
And so you're going to pick an amount of revenue you want to generate within 12 months, and then you know that you need to do a certain amount of behaviors in order to achieve that revenue goal. Well, then it starts creating clarity around the decisions you make, and if a decision you make, it has to be based on whether or not it can produce sales and support that goal. And so if it can't produce sales and support that goal, the answer to it should be no.
Wait, can you say that again, please?
The answer to it should be no. So we recently got asked to speak on a summit, and it's someone we like. She's really an awesome human, but it was a virtual summit and it was going to be all day, and it was not our audience. So the answer to her was, you're amazing and I enjoy spending time with you. However, they do not want to grow my business that way because that won't grow my business. So the answer was clearly going to be no. I didn't make that decision out of ego, out of anything other than, can this activity generate the leads and sales I want? The answer was no. So the event organizer said no.
Yeah, absolutely. I had the same situation as well. I love singing, dancing, acting on stage is one of my passions. I've been doing it forever. And a local theater company, of which I'm on the board of this theater, reached out to me and said, hey, we would love for you to come in and play this role. It's like, and they don't make me audition. I don't have to do any of that stuff. I can just walk in and do it and walk out. It's going to be, a couple weeks, no problem. And I said, hey, look, that's awesome. I love you guys. I support you 100%, but that's no, no, that's not what I'm going to do right now.
Because the town that you're in asked you to be the opening act of a brand new concert series that you have right here in town. It was only going to be one night, and you still knew to say no.
Yeah, I said no, because if it's outside of the scope of those goals that we create, right?
Yeah.
It's like you have to become a no ninja. Really, just slice through all the things. So many offers are going to come at you. And so many of the authors, and it's very interesting because, we are people of faith.
Yeah.
And we always see every single time that we make that choice, there's like a little test.
Yeah.
Right? There's a little test that comes along that says, hey, do you really want this goal?
Really
because I'm going to put something in front of you that you normally would say yes to.
Yeah.
are you really going to have faith in yourself and faith in me, which is what we believe? Like,
we love everyone, and whether or not you believe in God, we're glad that you're here.
Yeah.
But we do, and we call our God God. And so it was interesting because in my reading this morning, it was on the story of the bread and the fishes. And when I first heard that story, I thought, okay, Jesus was the one who went out and fed everybody, but no, he didn't. He gave his disciples the order to go and feed everybody. And they had to go feed everybody when they had nothing in their baskets. And they're like, dude, we don't have enough food to do this. And he's like, oh, I got you. And they're like, but we don't. But they had to start feeding, and then he started filling the baskets. Yeah. And that was like my first aha in that story that I had years ago. I'm like, oh, we have to do the thing you tell us to do, even when it doesn't make sense. And as we do it, you give us what we need. Okay, that makes sense. But today's reading had a little flip. And it said, not only does he give you what you need, but he gives it to you in an abundance over what you even asked for. So then they go and feed all the people. And then when they were all done, he told them, go gather what I got left. Why did they bother to have that in the story? Well, it wanted to tell you they had 12 baskets extra that they didn't even need. So not only did he give them what they needed, he gave them extra. And I was like, oh. So we don't have to feel guilty when we get abundance. He's like, that's the thing we're supposed to get. I'm like, that makes so much sense. That's what you get to when you do the thing that you didn't even know you were called to do. Let's go to a few questions about this, and let's just do one more quick recap of what these three things are. If we go back to that slide, that'd be awesome.
That's what I was
the three are?
Yeah, so the kinds are stages, strategic partnerships, and sales-only decisions. That is the fastest path to both clients and profits.
And we're going to give you a really fast way to get this done in just a few minutes. But before we do, we want to answer some questions live from our audience on Zoom. So if you're with us on Zoom right now, go ahead and put your questions inside the chat and we'll answer them one at a time.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So Susan Salter says, hi, I'm a coach and consultant for senior leaders and executives. I empower them to reinvent how they lead, live, and show up in the world. My clients are very busy people, as senior executives are. What is the most effective strategy to build my one-on-one client base? For example, I meet a lot of my clients through in-person networking, which works, but is a slow process. You called it out there. Aside from one-on-one coaching, what's another way to grow my business?
Yeah, great. So senior leaders and executives, I don't know who that is. So I want you to get a little more clear on who that person is and who some of your ideal people are. Yeah. But your fastest path is to think about this. Who already has my people? I don't want to go to them one-on-one. I want to go one-to-many. So what events do they attend? What would it take for me to be a speaker at those events? Can I apply to be a speaker? Can I get to know the event organizers? Does it make sense for me to sponsor? Can I volunteer for the organization? Who already has those people in their audience that I can deliver service to? So is there somebody who has senior leaders as their clients? And let's say, I don't know that this makes sense for who your audience is, but let's say it's someone like they use a software like Salesforce. I'm not saying that's what it is, but maybe it is that they use a software like Salesforce. Would it make sense to look at the vendors who are going to be at the Salesforce conference, Dreamforce, and is there one of them that it would make sense to partner with? Could you go give one of those vendors some of your leadership trainings or tips to their crew? They get benefit from you, and then you could reach their clients and it's the same people. Right? So it's all about finding who has already reached the audience that you want and how do you partner with them. We are often doing that with the folks, the software companies that work with our audience. Like, how can we give you value? We just had a call with a big one last week. Yep. We have a way to give them value. We're doing the thing that we do. Then we get to reach their audience. So think about the vendors those people use. Think about the events they attend to, the groups they hang out with, and give yourself opportunities to partner with those organizations and to speak on those stages.
Yeah, and the more specific you can be on who that person is, the better. Think of it this way. If you're on an archery range and 10 yards away is the bullseye, right? You take a fistful of rocks and throw it towards the target, you're going to hit something, right? But it's not going to be nearly as specific. If you want to hit the bullseye, the best way to do it is to take an arrow out of your quiver aim and fire, and keep firing until you have the exact right technique to get there. So that's the thing. Like, when you're more specific about finding exactly who that is, it actually makes it easier to do what you're talking about, which is find the audiences where those people are. And then you're wasting so much less time, energy, and effort because you're talking to people who already get it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So, Scott,
Well, we have
I'm sorry.
Michelle
So,
first.
Michelle, I apologize. Michelle, how do I build social capital when settling in a new living environment? Oh,
I have
great, we
done
had
this many
Yeah,
times, so I'm going to tell you this. Okay. So, number one, find the fastest path to meeting the people you want to know. And it's always by having first someone to connect you that you know. So, I would absolutely go to my LinkedIn contacts. I would then change locations, and I would look at first tier to see, do you know anybody in the area that you're already connected to on LinkedIn, and shoot them a message that you're new to the area. Here's what you're looking for. Are there any organizations that they suggest that you connect with? The next thing I would do is go and look for the people you want to connect with. So whoever your target market is on LinkedIn, and then I would hit the button second. And when you hit second, it will show you the people you want to connect to in your area, but it'll also show you people you're already connected to that are connected to them.
Yeah.
So if you know them, you then could say, hey, I'm new to such and such area. They happen to live here. They're in this niche. Would you be willing to do an intro? Now this is creating an introduction. So now you have a fast path to meeting that person. It creates more trust. The third thing I would do, three over here. Third thing I would do is to find organizations that are in your area that are already filled with those people. And so it could be a networking group, an association, an event that's happening. You can look at Eventbrite, Meetup. Those are great places to see both of those things. You can look for it as LinkedIn events and attend and go to them. And then you can volunteer. You can get really involved with the organization right away. And I wouldn't do all of these things at the same time because it can feel overwhelming. And it's better to do one of these things in real focus with blinders on, because you'll have so much more of an impact. But all of them work, and I've used all of them to create connections. I have lived, since growing my business, I have lived in York, Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Palm Beach, Florida, York, Pennsylvania again, Oceanport, New Jersey, Alpharetta, Georgia, and then building a relationship now and business here in just outside of Philly. Yeah. And so it's like, and I've been able to do in all those places following the exact same steps that I've told you. But I don't just do anything, and I don't go to any community group or any volunteer organization and reach out to anyone in the community. I always decide, who is it that I want to know to accomplish my goals? What are the kind of people and the vibe that I like? And then I reach out to those individuals.
That's lovely. Well, I saw that. Thank you for that heart, Michelle.
Strategic social networking.
SS.
I used to have an organization we're not going to talk about on air right now that did this in real life. And
it's great. It was fantastic. It was dinner. It's all about dinners. All right. So thank you very much for that love, Michelle. We appreciate you and for your question. Scott says, what's some points on creating authority in an industry that creates trust to expand your brand and opens up leads for
Scott, we're going to skip you. And while we do, get specific. We don't want to go general. We'll answer your question. So let us know your niche that we're going to go to this for. And we'll do that in a second.
Yeah, Scott.
And we'll come right back to you after we answer the next questions.
All right, cool. Eric is a midlife transformational coach and wants to do more speaking, specifically retreats for midlifes. What is the best way to intro myself over email when I'm cold emailing resorts, organizations, wellness centers, etc.?
It does not work, so don't do that.
Boom.
You could spend all day pitching and no one will hire you because they don't know who you are and they do not want to take a chance on someone they don't know yet.
There's a much better way.
There's a much better way. So first you're going to go to your own network. You're going to see who you know or who you can get, what organization you get involved in, and actually create relationships. So it's very much like strategic partnerships. Yep. Is there a Rotary Club in your community? Is there a chamber that you can join? Is there a something at your kid's school? Start to present that way. And then there is a great app, and I'm trying to Talkadot. That's what it's called. As you're just getting started out, you can use an app called Talkadot. And at the end of your talk, it will ask them to give you feedback on your talk. And then it will ask them do you have an organization that also brings in speakers? And it's a really great, it's not something I would recommend doing. Any of you who are using speaking already to grow your business and you're advancing, because your only call to action should be to your offer, to your free gift.
Right.
But as you're just starting, it's an amazing tool for not only getting feedback on your talk, which will help you to bring it forward, but it will also get you more talks.
Yeah, fantastic question. So thank you to Susan and Michelle and Scott and Eric. Scott, we're going to come back to you. Let's see, Scott, did you AI business automation?
That's great.
Yeah, so he wants to know creating authority and creating trust to expand the brand and open up leads.
Yeah. So go specific with AI authority. We don't know what that means. So I want you to get very focused on, because nobody cares what you do. They care what it will do for you.
Ooh,
right?
I love that. Yeah. What's in it for me, right? And AI authority could be anything from workflows to bots to agents to
And why do we even want any of those things? Even like those are the
right.
That's the vehicle, the transportation.
My favorite.
Not the destination.
Yeah, it's like, think about the commercials you see for like the distant, vacations, like sandals or something, right? In the Bahamas. They show people walking on the beach, having pina coladas, doing all the fun stuff at the place. They don't show the fact that you gotta go purchase the tickets, that you gotta go to the website and book all this, and they'll get on the plane and TSA stand in the 4-hour lines that they have to. They don't show any of that. That's the vehicle. But they show the destination because that's what they know people want. So the same thing for you. What is it that they want from whatever service it is that you provide? And that is the best way to open up your authority and to hook them and get them interested in how you go about making that happen for them.
Yeah. So a really fast way to get authority is to say something like, I empower small business enterprises to automate their customer service through engaging AI. And like that would be really specific. And then your content would be all about that. And then I would approach 3 key examples of that and offer to do it for them, just for the testimonial. Or if you already have great case studies, start to feature them in your content and make it really specific that way. So don't talk about what you do, talk about what it'll do for them.
Yeah. And automation is huge, and there are a lot of people who are still not using AI at all, much less in their business, much less knowing how to automate it. So is it leads? Is it the accounting? Is it whatever it is? The more specific you can get, and then like you're saying, the more that you can show what it will do for the business owner, the better. Okay, thank you very much for that specificity.
I think Latasha might be our last one for today.
Yes, I believe you are correct. Okay, Latasha said, I'm a travel business owner and I'm trying to build my team. I empower people to gain extra financial income that can lead to financial time and personal freedom. I find it hard because in the world, trust is low.
What? Something going on in the world that I don't know about, Latasha? Is something up? I'm just kidding.
My goodness.
You are right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it's true. So she's done with warm market. All right, so maybe you've just gone out and gotten all the warm leads you can. So I'm in a cold market now and trying to figure out my next moves. What advice do you have? Also, do you believe webinars work? Oh,
we're doing one right now. Okay, so
they're amazing.
Do you want to start with this answer and then I'll
go into your cold network?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would use LinkedIn for that.
Yeah. Don't try to pitch to cold. The goal is to automatically turn a cold network to warm.
Right.
You don't want to pitch it hello. If you're in a coffee shop and you see someone cute and they see you and you see them and they turn to you and they're like, hey, and you're like, hey, and then they say, want to go on a 10-day cruise? What? Like, it's funny because you're a travel agent and that's an example that you can use. But
you would say that. But you would never ever ask someone you just met.
It'd be so creepy. Yeah. No, instead you'd be like, what? You want a cup of coffee? Like, you have to give value first. So don't try to pitch to people who don't know you, like you, trust you.
Yeah.
But if you decide that for a travel agent, let's just say your niche is going to be something like empowering corporate executives to run their staff out of office retreats or offsite meetings. Let's say that becomes your pitch. Now, if that becomes your focus, now you want to start giving that as an example of everything you share on LinkedIn, of a company, what happened there, where'd they go, what they were able to do, and you took it off the plate of all the people and how happy they were working with you. And if you don't have examples like that yet, find a few executives you can work with to do it for them, and then have that as your message.
Yeah.
The more specific you can get, the more people believe that you're the person for them, and the more of the authority it makes for you. But when you try to be for everybody at one time, no one thinks you're the expert in authority. It's just like, okay, think about it this way: a general practitioner, doctor, do they get paid as much as a heart surgeon? What about a geriatric heart surgeon or a pediatrician pediatric heart surgeon? Like, we know the more specialized you get, the higher you get paid. Well, the same thing goes for all of our industries.
Yeah.
The more specific you get in what you do, the more people see you as the authority, and the more likely to trust you with their product, program, or service.
Yeah, and when you build that, just like that general practitioner example, general practitioners, they eat whatever they kill. That's why your GP will sometimes spend 2 minutes with you inside the room, as opposed to your heart surgeon, your brain surgeon. People are coming to them, and they get to choose who they work with. It's very, very much more specific, and makes you more of the authority.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we're so excited about this, because what you just saw is not hype. It's what happens when you stop trying to grow your business alone and start putting yourself in the right rooms.